Well, I thought I'd show you my homemade zinc plating station. I'm leak testing it right now. I've still got one more fitting to weld into this tank, but I'm ending for the day, so I decided I'd show the progress. That's a 12-hour supply right there. This is actually one of the outlets of the tank. That's a 15-gallon water tank for out of an RV. I cut the lid off of and made a top for it. Access holes, little homemade covers, PVC pipe handle, and the tank. Right now I'm just circulating plain water through it, allowing the pump to run. 2 eductors, order them from China, guys. You can't find them in the United States. It's cheap. I think 20 bucks. I got 2 of them shipped to the house. I looked and looked trying to buy an American product, but all the people in America are selling Chinese products and they're just marking them up on you, so might as well just buy the Chinese version. Down there, that's an outlet and that's an inlet with an eductor on it. Right now this is an outlet. I'll be moving this eductor to another fitting that I'll locate closer to the wall there and a little higher. That'll be the next one that I put in. Chinese laboratory power supply. Some 3/4 water pipe. Just hammer down the ends of them. Those hang right in there just nice. I may try some 1/2-inch ones, but these were hanging the carburetors and parts on. I think I need to, yeah, there we go. And then I have some rods for the anodes. Go here. These are titanium, and then let's see if I've got one. You drill holes through your zinc, 100% pure zinc balls, and just stick a rod through it and hang it on there. I have hangers for each end, like that. And then these will hang with the anodes, like that. And then, of course, put a fabric polyester sock around each one of those to catch the junk that comes off of them. And then under the tank, what we have is a whole house water filter. And then connecting all this up is a Japanese aquarium pump. eBay purchase for like 20 bucks. And you can tell it's really quiet. It's running right now. I've wired up a switch for the pump and a switch for the lights and the outlets on this roll-around workbench that I built. Now these are LED strips that are up top here. A couple of them have already failed on the end. They're fine. They're $5 worth of Chinese junk, but I'll solder a couple more up there, and for 5 bucks, what do you expect? You know, 15-20% failure rate. But that's pretty much it. Got it on casters, so even with 14 gallons of fluid or so in it, it'd be easy to roll around the shop. These fittings I couldn't find anywhere locally. Make sure you use chemical resistant fittings. Now, if you buy a water tank like I did that was used, that had holes already in it from an RV shop that nobody wanted, you can get a good price on it. I don't remember what I paid, but I've had this a few years, but I remember I got it really cheap. Don't be afraid to try and attempt to put your own fittings in. These are called spin weld fittings, and if you shop the internet you can get them pretty cheap. And the way they work is you have to spin them on something like a die grinder or a router. Nothing else. A hand drill is not going to get it hot enough or fast enough. What will happen is it'll start to melt with a hand drill and stick on you before you got enough heat for it to get a good solid weld, and then you'll have a mess. You'll have to chip it off, grind it flush, and get another one and do it right. But you can get away with a die grinder. Now, a Dremel tool is not going to have enough oomph to install these. I tried. It's just same thing as the drill. It's got enough speed, but it doesn't have enough horsepower to do it. You could do this with a laminate trimmer or a full router or a die grinder. I actually use my die grinder, it worked like a charm. Now this fitting is cheap. The adapter that hooks to your die grinder is insanely expensive. Now overseas they make these things where they have bolt heads and you can just chuck up a bolt and use a bolt head in it. In America, good old American way of screwing the consumer is they want you to buy an overpriced tool to do this with. Don't do that. Don't waste your money. I went to Lowe's. I bought a rubber stopper that was tapered, drilled a hole through the middle of it, put a washer on a stainless bolt, stuck the stopper and the bolt with the washer from the other side, put a larger washer on this side, and with a nut, tightened it up. Tighten it good and tight, because if it's not really tight, then what will happen is this thing will start to get some friction built up and start to stick on you, and then it won't go. So make sure you tighten the stew out of it. But that'll work for you. So for about $4 at Lowe's or Home Depot, you can get the pieces you need to install these yourself. Now, you can buy the $100 tool if you want to, but I don't recommend it. The water filters, I think they're $20 now on eBay. They don't come with a mounting bracket, so if you look, that's just an electrical box up top. I'll put it on top, screwed it to the water filter, and then mounted that box with the bracket, as you can see in the back there with some screws. Works like a charm, plenty strong. That is not an electrical box. That's just being used as a bracket to support the water filter. So you can get a cheap water filter like that off eBay as well and save yourself a bunch of money. I think I got $30 in the pump, $20 in that, another $20 probably because I bought 2 high price hose at Lowe's. 1 stick of 3/4 pipe. That's about a $50, maybe $60, I don't remember exactly. DC power supply, and that's QW M53010D is what it is. And it's you don't need much current. I think this will go to 10 amps, but you don't need that much. Most everything you're going to do is 3 amps or below. I have all the chemicals. They're over here waiting. And what we have here, zinc chloride and zinc chloride. More zinc chloride. More zinc chloride. This is for cleaning parts, degreasing them. It's not for the chemicals, for the electrolyte. Ammonium chloride. There's empty potassium chloride. Well, take my word for it. One of those is potassium chloride. And stuff that was really hard to get was the dichromate. That's what this is. It's really expensive. Chromate solutions. I got this from a ceramic supply guy off eBay. Had a little trouble getting it from them. They shipped it, but good old U.S. Postal Service let's see, there it is. That's where I got it. So if you need some chromate, you can get it from these people. Alright, some buckets with lids for the chromate. Get this stuff back up before bags get damaged. And then the Magic Ultra Chlor AP. I'm using their mixture and their chemicals. This stuff wasn't cheap. All told, with the chemicals when they're mixed up for the plating solution, I'll have about $300 in the chemicals. If you add up everything else, the cart that I built here, I'll have somewhere close to $700, maybe $1,000 in it at the most. It's not too bad to have a quality little plating station. I'll be able to plate. I already have a vibratory cleaner and the necessary equipment to clean the parts. So wish me luck. I'll keep you informed as to the success of this little venture. Thank you, YouTubers. Have a good night.